What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're tuning in, glad to still have you here. You haven't lost you yet. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I just haven't been picking up any books or doing any reading lately, right? So I haven't dropped any reviews or hauls. But I have a hefty size haul right now. Did make a few orders, so I have a few hardcovers here. For the most part, I'm kind of skipping on paperbacks from now on. I'm kind of concentrating just on omnibuses and the occasional oversized hardcover, right? I have recently been rereading the Brian Michael Bendis Guardians of the Galaxy Omnibus. That was the first run. I was reading in singles towards the tail end of it. And that's what got me into comics, right, as an adult. So I watched the movie, got into the comics, and I remember it being real fun back when they were coming out in singles. And now that they did the omnibus format, I bought it and I decided, I've been having it on the shelf for a while and finally decided to reread it, right? The books, now that I have been reading other modern comics and so forth, not as cool as I remember reading them the first time. It's, the dialogue is kind of funny, it's okay. But the story is like a lot of just introducing these new characters in one issue. Then they get into a fight in the next issue so you could kind of see what they're capable of in a superhero fight. Then introduce another character, another fight scene, and so forth, right? So there's no real interesting ongoing story, if you will. But I've been enjoying the art. There's been a lot of artists that I do like, so I didn't mind flipping through the pages and re-enjoying the art and the action scenes and so forth, right? So I might do a review on that once I'm done with it. Just reviewing the whole omnibus as a whole. Not gonna get into each story arc by story arc. Another thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna get back to my X-Men books. When I read the X-Men, I do like short videos, like 5-minute, 6-minute videos. The reason for those is they remind me where I left off on the book when I go back and rewatch them. So it's partly for me, but also for anybody that buys volume 7 of X-Men and you don't want to read the previous 6, right? You can watch these videos and they kind of just read the story back to you in 5 minutes instead of spending 2 hours reading this material, right? 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I tell the story back to you, then you could then continue, right? When I read volume 6 back to you, then you start on your volume 7 you bought or whatever, right? That's kind of the purpose of those. I'll turn them into a playlist down the road once I get a few more videos going. So yeah, that's the plans for the near future. I just been alerted. You need to hit that subscribe button right down there. Yeah, it's totally free. You'll thank me later. This way, it'll notify you on your feed every time a new video drops. Now that we got that out the way, what you guys really came here for is the books, right? What did I pick up? So I'm gonna go through the overhead view so we can look at the books themselves. Maybe flip through a few pages and see what and what I have picked up. Alright, so here's the dust jacket. This is the front cover, the spine, and the back cover. Here you see it goes for $125 American. That's the cover price. I like how here on the spine it has this the old Captain Britain costume. That looks pretty cool. This is the variant. Now the original cover has him in the new suit, and this is different, I believe, as well. Here you get the inner flaps. I really like how here it gives you a long monologue or whatever you want to call it. Very wordy. Here's the character in his new costume. Here he is in his old costume. And again, very wordy. That's what you're going to expect in the book. It's going to be very dialogue heavy. Here is the book without the dust jacket. That's the front cover, the spine. It doesn't have any writing on the spine on the actual book itself because it's a whole 2-page spread. There's the back cover. Really digging this picture here. It's Alan Davis art. I recognize his art right away. He's one of my favorite artists. Now his style itself is, art is subjective. Some people might like it, some people might think it's average. But he's a master storyteller in my opinion. The way he tells a story with his art, I don't think that's up for debate. I think he's really good at it, one of the best actually. And here you see all kinds of wacky, crazy stuff going on. This is very reminiscent of what happens in Excalibur. Same type of art style and a lot of wacky, crazy stuff happens, right? So I have never read this actual full run. I read the odd issue here and there from it. So I'm not sure exactly what to expect. Alright, so here's the inner pages, the inner covers. They're just solid black. Here we get some artwork. It's kind of almost like black and white, but with some inks that are blue and red. Red pens and blue pens. A big chunk of this is in black and white. I don't know if I mentioned that. And now here you get the credit to everybody that worked on the book and so forth. Here you get the table of contents. Quite a lot of issues in here. Look at all that. Look at all that. Now it shows you here at the end of each issue what page the new issue starts. I really like that. I like that it shows you the page where the new chapter starts pretty much, right? That's very important. It doesn't look the fanciest, but it's good for practical use. It does what it's supposed to, right? Here's the first issue. It says Captain Britain in color, because not all the issues are in color, like I said. So that's some of the art to expect right there. This issue will be in color. Okay, so here's some of the pages again in color. You can see, look at this. Very dialogue heavy, like word bubbles everywhere, right? All over the place. So here we're on page 193. This is what I like about the old school books. It always keeps this white border, and you get the page count right on the bottom. Some of the newer ones, you don't get that. So once after 193, get page 194, then we start in the black and white. So we get almost 200 pages of color. And I don't know if this is with every book or just mine. Look, it has this. That's no big deal. It doesn't affect the artwork or anything, or the reading experience. But yeah, once we get to 195, okay, from 195, all this big chunk to 441, it's in black and white. Then we get back into a Spider-Man storyline that's in color at 443, and then at 479, it goes back to being in black and white. Once we get to this story, the Black Knight, this where I hear is where it starts actually getting real good, where it picks up. So that's almost like, this is about 1,400 pages. So at almost 500 pages is where I hear it really picks up. All right, here at page 632, we're back in color, and we have Alan Davis and Alan Moore working on this, right? So from here forward, it's them two. And I hear this stuff is really good. Mostly everybody says it's solid, and a lot of people even say it's a masterpiece. It's like some of the best comics you're gonna read. So I am hyped to get to read this part. But this said it was written back in 1977. I'm reading X-Men in chronological order. I'm in 1970 right now. So it's going to take me a minute before I get to 1977, right? So we're going to have to hold off on that for a minute. But yeah, let's flip through some of the art. Here it's okay. This does not look like Alan Davis art to me. It looks a lot different, like more scratchy compared to the art you saw earlier on the cover. I would even say it looks more realistic as far as comics go compared to the other art. So yeah, that's some of the stuff to expect right here. There's Psylocke, Betsy Braddock before she became Psylocke. Next book of the haul is Jonathan Hickman's X-Men. This kind of like a reboot, if you will. This is the front cover. I went with the variant. I like the art on both. Went with this one. I do not like how this big red thing takes up so much space. I wish it just had this X so we could get more artwork, right? This could be zoomed in bigger. So that sucks. The spine sucks. I don't like that either. The letters are real small. Don't like that either. Pretty lame. This too. I'm not really a fan of this. The way they make these designs on these new X-Men books. But I do like the covers. A lot of the covers look pretty cool. So yeah, that's the dust jacket. These are the inner flaps. Just has a bunch of writing here. I have not got around to reading them. Because again, I got these books. They've been sitting there for a minute. I just opened them up right now. So I have no idea what it says on all this, right? Alright, now after the gorgeous artwork on the previous book, this looks pretty plain. No art on it or anything. But I actually don't mind it. It's pretty simplistic, it's basic, but it got the X-Men logos everywhere. I think this is actually pretty cool. Kind of almost reminds me of like Gucci jackets or shoes and so forth. The way that the branding is. Here's the inner covers, are solid black. The first page. Let's check here's the credits and so forth, who and who worked on the book and mapped it and so forth. Oh, I like this. This is real nice. I like the way this is. They still keep going with the same theme. Oh, what the hell? It has no table of contents. Oh, that's a big... Oh, wait up. It's a brave new world. It shows all the... Typical Jonathan Hickman always introduces all the characters right here. So you know everybody that's going to be in the story. Has the cover here, but it's... The covers is not in color. It's just like a red hue. Tells you issue 1. At least it tells you what issue it is, but that sucks. They're not in color. And it doesn't give you a table of contents. Wow, I'm really not a fan of this design. It's pretty weak. Pretty weak. I can't judge the story yet. I have not read it. From the looks of it right now, the art itself looks pretty good. It's solid. Let's get to the end of the book, see if there's any extras. Okay, here we're getting towards the last pages. I really like the way Emma Frost looks right there in her crystal form. Pretty sick, pretty sick. Now, after these last pages, look at that. This badass right there. Here on the extras, you get the covers. So this shit fucking sucks. Like, here you get the cover in color, cover to issue 2, and so forth. Why don't you just put the covers where they actually belong? They save them towards the end just so they can say they gave you some type of bonus material, right? I would rather you just put them in order where they go, and just don't give me any extra material. We don't need all this extra pages just to give me the cover that should have already been in there, right? I mean, at least we get them, but sometimes by the time I'm done reading the book, I don't want to bother flipping through these covers anymore. When I get to the next book, so I like to have them where they go. It kind of ruins the experience for me. So yeah, not a fan of the way this is designed, and the extras in general. There is none. It's just the covers that you get, right? So there's no. Oh, this looks pretty bad. It's the X-Men 2099. I like this, but yeah, for the most part, the extras are not the best. It's just the covers that were already supposed to be in there. I just really hate when they save them out for the end. Let's get to the next book. All right, here's the next book. It's The Question Volume 1. So I believe in 2 volumes we'll wrap up the whole series. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know in the comment section if you guys know how many issues this series by Dennis O'Neil goes. I almost thought I was under the impression that it was only 1 volume, but it says volume 1 here. So that leads me to believe there's going to be at least 2. Awesome cover. Love it. Here's the font, title. Here's the spine. It says The Question. As you can see here, it's kind of a thick book. And it has this picture here of the cover again right here. I love this spine design right here. Here's the back. I have not read this. Cover price, I believe. Where is it at? I believe it was $100, which is real solid for how much material you're getting. As long as it's not X-Men. So here's the inner flaps. You get the question right here. That's pretty cool. And again, some writing here which I have not read. The dust jacket. And this is the artwork that's on the actual book. Has this weird drawing here. This is Sienkiewicz, I believe. So I've always liked his artwork. I found it very weird and kind of odd and out there, but in a good way. It intrigues me. I enjoy it, although I don't always fully understand what's happening. And then he has this other cover here. I kind of like this one. I find this very interesting. I feel like this looks like that type of art that's like it's trying to make some type of statement, right? Like it's trying to say something. That's the vibe it gives me. I don't know exactly what that is. Maybe it'll be more clear once I read the book. Here's the spine on the actual book. Pretty simplistic, but I do love the way it looks on the dust jacket. Here are the inner covers, just solid black. Here you get the table of contents. You get the issues and the page number. What page, what issue starts. Always a fan of that. So yeah, this is well done. Well done, DC. Here you get the cover. Love this too. See, there's the cover in color, the issue number and everything, right? Just like the cover on the original issues would be. And look at this, right away, the first page, I'm digging the artwork. It already looks mysterious and interesting, and it kind of makes me want to just start reading this book already, right? Now, when it comes to whenever Sienkiewicz works on something, like I said, the artwork is kind of out there, and sometimes I have trouble keeping up with what exactly is going on. And the same is with the stories. When I read stories of his, they're hit and miss. Sometimes I really like them, sometimes I don't, because I'm like confused and I'm kind of like, what exactly is going on? Like, like sometimes I feel like I missed something. And it's never a waste of time in my opinion, because I do like the artwork regardless. So we'll see how this is. This has a lot of praise. A lot of people love this run. So I hope this is one of the ones I enjoy. It is written by Dennis O'Neil, not Sienkiewicz, so that's a plus. I do like the little bit I read of his Batman. So yeah, look at the artwork right here. It's real cool. This almost reminds me of Sin City, but like in color. Once we get to the end, this is the end, and we get a lot of like letters pages. Look how much paper. It's pretty chunky. And yeah, we get all kinds of stuff here that obviously I have not read it. Seems pretty interesting. Here is page 900 right now. Right now I haven't stretched it out yet, but the binding does seem a little bit tight. But that's okay. I could stretch it out, and hopefully that will change. And it's to be expected with the DC books. The binding is rarely as good as it is on the Marvel books. So yeah, that's the end of this book. Here is Bill Willingham's Fables, Volume 1. This is the front cover. This is the back cover. Volume 10 front cover. Back cover, that looks like a Jack of Fables. Volume 14. This is the back cover. Here are the spines to all 3 books. Here are the inner covers. It's like a purple with shades of a darker purple. I'm digging them. They look pretty cool. The first page. This is volume 1 right here. This is the artwork to the paperbacks, I believe. Get some writing here. Here you get the chapters, table of contents, and the page count, right? Always a fan of having that on the books. Here you get some type of like intros. It's almost like a prose novel. So you get some artwork, then you get some writing, right? Then again, artwork and some writing. So it starts off almost like a prose novel. Then we get to the actual comic book. I'm seeing here it doesn't show the cover. We just get right to the story. Unless this is the cover to issue 1, which I'm not familiar because I never read these in singles. Let me know in the comment section if this is the cover to issue 1. Some of the artwork. You get a lot of artists along the journey here. A lot of different mix of artists, but the same writer consistently. So yeah, that's some of the art. This is a pretty interesting story. The first book, it's kind of like a murder mystery, but the story doesn't stay that way the whole time, right? And the second volume, third, it starts changing into, even after the first 6 issues, because this is the first 12 issues. So the first 6 issues is one story arc. The next half of the book is another story arc. And the first story arc is the murder mystery. Back to normal. So yeah, this is the ending of the book. And here you get some like alternative covers. This is art by Alex Maleev. This is the cover to the volume 1 trade paperback, I think, or to one of the volumes, because this looks real familiar, like I've seen it before. These are some of the extras and some black and white artwork. Pretty cool. This is pretty much the end right there. So yeah, the extras are pretty cool, and this one not bad. So yeah, I'm not gonna show the flip through the other volumes because it's gonna be more of the same. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you read this series before, let me know what you think about it. And hopefully you hit that subscribe button. That way it'll notify you on your feed every time a new video drops. And you keep following us on this YouTube journey. Alright guys, check you guys out next time.